When I went there, I didn't know that I'm going to such a place where there's no light, no gas, no water.
Salamu, 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 salamu alaikum ya jama, salamu alaikum ya jama, assalamu alaikum.
We bore witness to love. Love that transcends color and borders from the blessed people of Ghana for Hazrat Khalifatul Masih. They returned the love and care this humble servant gave to them for 8 years, until the entire nation reached out to him and embraced him as her own.
When I was here, I did not think of abandoning this country. I considered myself to be a Ghanaian.
Join us on this unforgettable journey in this 2-part series as we tread the footsteps of humility and humanity, exemplified by Hazur as a young devotee.
A very unassuming, gentle and humble human being.
Witness the example of dedication.
That man was good. If not because of him, like this school would not come to stay.
Witness the example of love.
That's my best friend.
He was teaching you English.
Witness the example of brotherhood.
President today, Huzu, could lay his head with us.
It's an example of humility, it's an example of obedience, it's an example of commitment, it's an example of recognizing a human being for his worth.
Salamu alaikum ya jama, assalamu alaikum.
This was the moment dreamt by the thousands, and yet not witnessed until 1970, when Hazrat Khalifatul Masih III graced Ghana with his presence. Little did anyone know what blessed doors this visit would open in the future. Love for all and hatred for none is what Hazur had preached, and on his return from Ghana, he put it into practice like never before by launching the Nusrat Jahan scheme. Under the scheme, schools and hospitals were started around Ghana and then eventually all over Africa.
When I decided to sacrifice my life for Waqf Zindagi, Tariq-e-Deed office was, I think, they didn't need me because they thought that we don't want somebody who is qualified in this particular subject. I wrote directly to Hazrat Masih Salis, and he marked that letter to Tariq-e-Deed. So Tariq-e-Deed replied back to Hazrat Masih Salis that we don't need this boy at present. As soon as Hazrat Masih Salis received this letter, he said, "You don't need him, but I need him." Then he asked me to go through Nusrat Jahan to Africa, Ghana. He embraced me, and that was the first ever experience I had by embracing any of the Khalifas. So anyway, then I went to Ghana. The very important thing he asked me, that remember that you are going to Ghana as Waqf Zindagi teacher. And also remember that you belong to the family of Prophet Musa al-Islam. And people there will always keep their eyes on you. So always remember Allah and don't do any act which is against the teachings of Islam and Ahmadiyyat.
Sahibzada Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad dedicated his life, and through the scheme was posted to a very remote and unknown part of northern Ghana as headmaster for the secondary school Jamaat had started in the small town of Salaga. So straight from the comforts of Pakistan to the harshness of the barren north, where Hazur spent an entire year by himself, humbly carrying out his duties.
The principal of the school took me along with him from Kumasi to that place, Salaga. It is the remotest town in northern region of Ghana. The house was very small, 2 rooms, just 3-4 feet. On one side there was a kitchen, then toilet, bath. I stayed alone for almost 1 year without my family. First I learnt making chapatis there from our missionaries who was living in Tamale. Early morning for the breakfast, and normally I used to take bread and egg and so on. No afternoon lunch. Like an evening, after closing from the school, around 4 o'clock, I'll prepare my food, sardine or yam, or prepare some chapatis. I lost almost 25 pounds of my weight at that time. Later on it was okay. So I enjoyed that adventure also. That was an adventure.
Now, 30 years later, we commence our journey from the same place where Hazur began his service as a devotee in Ghana.
So I'm now here at the TI Ahmadiyya Secondary School here in Salaga, and first of all, it was this place, this secondary school, that Hazur was first posted to when he arrived from Pakistan to Ghana. And I'm just going to go in there and ask a few people I can find there what they can tell me about Hazur's humble beginnings from here in Salaga.
Treading the same footsteps, it's hard to realize what this place was like when Hazur first arrived here. The Talimul Islam Ahmadiyya Secondary School in Salaga is one of the most recognized schools in the area today, with well over 1,000 students attending from all over the region. It is an incredibly huge establishment with all learning resources readily available for a range of students from different backgrounds and religions. But 30 years earlier, such a teaching facility was impossible to imagine in this region, as secular education was an absolute no for any child. Today, it's a very different story, as you can see.
I can't believe what I'm seeing. How many do we have here? 1, 2, 3,000 plus 2,000? Well, I don't know. You tell me for yourself. So many of them here. And 30 years ago, when Hazur was here, it was almost an impossibility trying to convince parents to send their children to school. 30 years on, look at the numbers of students here. Woo.
Salaga was hundreds of miles away from the rapidly progressing winds of Accra. If this region of Ghana was to progress, then the people had to embrace secular education. Jamaat had built a small school, but the real challenge was getting the students.
At the time Hazur came here, secular education was considered a taboo, a grievous sin. When the Jamaat established the school, the classrooms were pretty much empty.
If you talk of Salaga in those days, Salaga was a place where first people were not interested in education. And so if they are not interested in education, they are not going to promote education. So somebody going there is not going to be encouraged. It is as simple as that.
Now, to talk of Salaga TI Ahmadiyya Senior High School, you're talking of a secondary school in the most deprived area of Ghana, where there are no facilities whatsoever for any living. Water is a problem, electricity is a problem, where even to lay your head is a problem. But he endured.
Wonderful thing about him is he never complained. Never, ever. For all the 8 years that he lived there, did we see anything of the kind. But I can tell you that it was not easy to live in Salaga.
It was during this time the Jamaat, with the efforts of the then chief of the area, the Kimbewura, had to go around to convince people to send their children to school for secular education. It was during this time that Huzur came into the picture, and it took a lot of resolve, dedication, and resilience from Huzur to be able to add to the numbers of children who came to school. He had to help in building the amenities, the infrastructure, and provide accommodation for some of the students. And almost all of them had free education and their meals heavily subsidized for them.
Mr. Dimbiye is the current headmaster of the school, and he can give us an insight into the role Huzur played in the development of this school.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I'm all right.
I'm also fine. And how's the school?
Very fine.
Alhamdulillah. We would like to take a look around.
We can go.
Mr. Dimbiye takes us to the original block, which was refurbished by Huzur. At the time, this was the only building.
This is Old Amas, the first structure built on this site in 1976 that has 4 classrooms.
So current Huzur may have taught in this structure because he was here when?
1977. And so definitely as a headmaster, he did not only do administrative work, he also did some teaching in the classrooms.
So headmasters at the time were not only doing administration work, they were also fully participating in teaching. So it's very possible that our current Huzur may have taught in one of these classrooms here.
Yes, just that, exactly so. You see the students there and the classrooms. Yes. So possibly
he would have taught here.
Yes.
So can we go inside the classroom and just replay in our own minds what the situation used to be like?
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. How you all doing? So we now have a full classroom. This is about how many students?
That's about 60 plus students.
60 plus students.
Yes.
But 30 years ago, it was very difficult to even have up to 15 students in a class like this.
The whole school population was 15.
The whole school?
The whole school population was 15.
Amazing.
And look at the number of girls in this classroom alone. But you had only 3 girls in 1971.
Wow. The whole school
population was 15, 12 boys and 3 girls.
Wow. All the struggle they had to go through, the founding fathers of this school, including Huzur.
Yes.
What has it achieved? Has it impacted on the society, the community around?
It's beneficial. It's terribly rewarding. That you look at the population, the accessibility of it. The district director of education acknowledged that this school is one of the schools that admits the chunk of the junior high school graduates in the whole district.
Tell me about it.
Students and parents come to beg for admissions. At times we switch off our mobile phones. At times we run away. At times we put on the notice admissions closed, and people still come to seek admission. From a very humble beginning and difficulties, a lot of sacrifices put in the school, it has paid off. We have a current student population of 1,200, made up of all shades of students, talking about religions and all around the country make up this population. The infrastructural status of the school is quite commendable. We have 25 classrooms, 2 giant dormitories for boys and girls, and there are still some being constructed. Then we also have a library facility, we have a science lab, we have other facilities in the school. Then if you want to look at generally the programs that we run in the school, The school started with 2 programs, business and general arts. Today, we have 5 programs, business, general arts, science, agric, and home economics. These are the 5 programs run in the school, and highly competitive.
Since its humble beginnings, TI Salaga has made rapid progress through the years, and in its course, it has shaped the lives of people throughout the entire region.
And so 30 years on after the establishment of this school, I can't imagine that this school has come this far. This is the cadet corps of the school doing a march past some of the dignitaries on the days there. And some of those people you see on the days there actually include very high-level government officials. Some of them are high-level district chief executives and all that. And some of them did attend this school. This is how far this school has come. And one can only imagine the kind of sacrifice that had to go into establishing this school.
The original school at the time of Hazur's arrival was a disused, abandoned building, and Hazur literally had to rebuild the school from the ground up. Salaga is 90 miles away from the nearest city of Tamale, where all the supplies for the school had to be bought from.
If he needs anything, he cannot get from the market because it's a small place. So he has to travel to a place like Tamale or to go to Kumasi.
Those days, one, you wouldn't even have that luxury of thinking about how many hours are you going to take. That's one. 2, which means of the transport was going to carry you. Is it a tractor or that? The mummy trucks, there was one Tata bus that served from Tamale to Makango. But even the 3rd day, I was very tiny. I had to struggle between people before I could get to the gates.
Days? Did you have a breakdown?
No, that was the only means for so many people.
Yes, so?
The struggle and the competition was high.
This was in 83?
83.
And Hazur was here in
77 and 79.
And so by 83, things may have even improved a bit.
Better.
Oh.
Hazur would travel on public transport available at the time himself 90 miles on dusty broken roads to Tamale and bring building materials 90 miles back. And public transport in northern Ghana at that time wasn't exactly what you may have in mind.
This is the kind of road that Hazur would travel on anytime he needed to travel between Salaga and Tamale, whenever he needed any small thing for his family or for himself. And when he was lucky, he would do this journey on a bus. Otherwise, he had no other choice but to make the journey 90 miles away from here on, well, the notorious mode of transportation known in Ghana as
bone shaker. It's a sort of truck made of wood, timber. It's not the type of, metallic, vehicles that we know of. So they call it bone shaker because even the seat is made up of just timber of that, width. We put it there and then you sit on it.
Sometimes you take about 2 days to recover from the kind of pain you receive after riding in a vehicle like this. Usually it's made of wooden structures and with big tires, sometimes double tires behind it. And usually it's a rickety vehicle, as you can see. Not much can be said, but during the time Hazur was here, these are the kinds of vehicles he used to travel on whenever he didn't have the government vehicle that would usually take him from Makango to Tamale through Salaga and all that. So these are the kind of vehicles he used to ride on. Now, what you actually see here is a modern type of bone shaker. We couldn't lay hands on the type that Hazur himself used to ride on, but we are fortunate to have a replica from the TI Ahmad Secondary School in Salaga. I'll now jump on the bone shaker track and have a ride and just have a feel of what Hazur may have been going through whenever he took a ride on a bone shaker.
Tamale. Sorry.
This is a real life experience about what Hazur actually.
This is my first experience, man. Thanks, man.
This is only the beginning for Abdul Hai, but he is about to find out what bone shaker really means.
So I am riding in a modern day bone shaker. This is not the exact type you would find 30 years ago. Can you tell me your experiences in riding in bone shakers?
Actually, riding in bone shaker is a hell. If you look at it, at the end of the day, when you get to your destination, you can't best tell whether it's your joints, your waist, your pain, your eyes. You can't even tell exactly which part of your body that is disturbing you.
Yeah, what are some of the challenges in riding on a bone shaker? Have you ever been in an accident or something?
Oh, for the bone shaker, accident in bone shaker, most of the times a lot of people die, just like fowls. Because when the vehicle is landing, there's nothing to protect you.
And how often do bone shakers break down in terms of the engine, maybe brake failures and all?
Oh, particularly this part of the country, most of our bone shakers don't even have brakes. So they use the GS to control.
So again, they don't have what?
They don't have brakes.
So how do they stop?
So when he's going, you see that the driver use the GS. If he's accelerating so much, you push it to the first. In other so that you see that the vehicle will be shaking, ejecting here and there. Then sometimes the driver mate will jump down, push the track, a chalk, then the vehicle will run over it and will pick it and push it for the second time before the vehicle is able to slow down.
I can't believe this.
With his bag.
This man can do the job. Look at him there.
So in a situation where the driver has to make an emergency stop, what happens?
That is why we have a lot of accidents in the system, because it cannot stop when in terms of emergency stops.
So what this means and what it tells me is that Huzur was so humble that anytime he could not get a ride on a government bus, he would join one of these trucks. And I just told you that this truck is more comfortable than what was used 30 years ago.
This is what we meant when we said the public transport which Huzur used to take for 90 miles and back.
Oh, what a ride, man! What a ride! I can't believe this.
One of the lovely rides in town. To me, that was too much.
I know, and when I even ride in this bone shaker, I could assume the real bone shaker Huzur used, how he feels.
From Salaga, there was a big city called Tamale. We used to go there for building material, because at that time we were building some school block, even for your commodities like groceries and all things, sort of things. There was no proper means of transport. There was only one government transport bus. We used to come from Tamale in the morning time and one in the evening time. Nobody knows at what time it will get broken down and you are stranded on the way. Once I and our missionary Hazrat were traveling to Tamale. You would not find any place even to stand there. So what we used to do is take the bus when it reaches to Salaga and go to the end of the road, 17 miles further, and there you could easily get some seat. So we used to do 34 miles extra travel for getting a seat. One day bus got broken down there. It was evening time. I was going to purchase some building material for our building. We were contractor there, we were builder there, we were everybody. I was everything there. I was having some big amount in my briefcase. Night was fast approaching and I was afraid that, as for me it doesn't matter, but this money somebody can snatch the bag and then take it away. Anyway, 8, 9, 10, so later on they announced that now they have sent the message to Tamale. The bus will soon come, and that soon was after 8 hours. So we spent the whole night there. I found some bench there. I sat on it and held my briefcase very firmly. And I asked Maulvi Sahib that I think half night you sleep and half night I sleep. The next morning around 4 o'clock, In the morning, the bus came and we climbed on it and reached to Male. And that was also a good adventure.
Islam has been brought by Allah. Let them merge it. It is the way to Allah.
Well, so far I've felt it, I've seen it all, and I've heard it all from people who lived with Huzur whilst he stayed in Salaga. Now, these people tell me that while Huzur lived with them, he exhibited so much resilience, resolve, commitment, and the fear of God to the extent that it reflected in whatever he did. I'm now on my way to Esachur, where Huzur was posted to after 3 years of service in Salaga, to speak to a few people about the life he led whilst he stayed here.
After 3 years of service in Salaga, Huzur was posted to another small and unknown town of Hazrat. Hazrat lies at a distance of just over a mile from another small town, Ikrafu, which holds immense importance for Jamaat, as this was the birthplace of Ahmadiyyat in Ghana. Hazrat was no Salaga. Even today, it is an incredibly small town, and even if the harsh savanna of the north was switched with a more greener area, Hazrat did not come without its challenges for Huzur. Even here, getting students to come to school was no easy task. But it was the wise Ikumfi Paramount Chief Nana Achin who gave his complete support for the school and welcomed the Jamaat to run it. We're here to meet the chief's son, Augustus Achin, who can throw more light on Huzur's time in Hazrat.
I'm fine. How are you too?
I'm very fine.
That's good. That's good.
Can you tell me about Nana Achin, your father, who used to be chief here?
Yeah, Nana Achin, he was the chief of a Kumfi, traditional area, and he ruled for almost 40 years. And even one time he was the presidential commissioner during the Nkrumah regime.
Wow.
When Nkrumah is not there, he used to replace Nkrumah. Those days.
Nkrumah, the first president.
The first president of Ghana.
So this is where he used to live.
This where he was.
I've heard there's a man
Yeah.
who came from Pakistan, did some work in the northern region, and then was posted to this very town.
Okay, yes.
And your father what did your father do for you?
Yes, the same thing. My father also gave his complete.
Do you remember this man?
I remember that man.
What was his name?
He was the Ahmad.
Mr. Ahmed.
Something Ahmed.
That's what you remember,
Yes,
Mr.
that's
Ahmed.
what yes.
Okay.
He was the headmaster of the Ahmadiyya Secondary School. Yes. So he came. I think when he came, my father welcomed him very well, and he gave out his burden, complete burden to him, on free of charge. Because my father wanted the school to come and stay.
Can I see that building?
Yes, you can see.
The very first place
exactly,
your dad gave to him?
Place my dad gave to him.
So, this is the building?
Yes. This is the building.
Wow.
This is where my father gave it to the first headmaster of the Ahmadiyya.
Do you remember the first day he moved in?
Yes, they brought him from Accra. So that time my father have already assured the Amil in Ghana that whoever comes as the headmaster, he is prepared to give out his burden to him. So the burden was just there standby for any whoever who comes in.
So your dad was ready to release his building to accommodate the headmaster of the Ahmadiyya Secondary School, of the Ahmadiyya School.
Exactly.
Here in Hazrat.
Exactly. Not even the accommodation of even the headmaster alone. He also give out other burdens also for schools and then dormitories as well. And the schools are also here. I think we can.
Oh, just here?
Yes, just here. Before then, it was a market. But because my father wanted the school to come and stay, he bought these brick blocks and then fence wall it. For the meantime, the students should be here. So that's the Form 1, Form 2, Form 3. And those days, people doesn't want to patronize, people doesn't want to attend schools. So my father made it compulsory that each and every person in this community should try and bring one of his child to the school. So my father set an example by sending his 2 daughters.
Oh, daughters?
Yes.
Wow.
Daughters. He set that example so that he can hold people to that. Here, eventually, it was a market. This place was a market.
Yeah.
But because there was no option, so my father sat down and then he said, no, compulsory, because if he made a least mistake, the school will not come to stay.
Yeah.
So he converted this market into the school. He made this place a school by force. The headmaster, he was a very good friend to my father.
Really?
So, yes, that Ahmad was, but he was so nice, and he was very committed to the school. He liked the school, and every day he wanted things to be put in order. He was good. That man was good. If not because of him, like this school would not come to stay. Yeah, so now the school is at Ekrofo, between Ekrofo and Esache. So with time, my father sat down. My father found out that no, the place was growing. Yeah. The school was growing. Why do I look a big place for them as a land for them to build a big school? So he started the move. Oh, so he moved himself. He moved, and then he went to in between Ekrofo and Esache. And we had a very big land there. That time I was a young guy and I was following my father. I think he was in the bush himself.
So we have to go to that school.
Yes, we have to go to that.
The original school, which used to be here, had to move completely to the because it had the numbers exceeded what this building
exactly.
Whoa,
exactly.
Whoa, great.
Chief Nana Achin was so committed to bringing education to his people that he put up one of his personal houses as accommodation for Hazur and the students.
Yes, this is the building. This is where Mr. Ahmad was staying. This is where my father gave.
This is where our president Hazur used to live.
Yes.
Where exactly? It's a very big house.
Yes,
was the whole house?
The whole house.
The whole house belonged to him?
No, he was occupying the top.
Oh, okay.
And then some of the students were down.
Whoa! So he shared a building with students?
Exactly.
Did he ever complain? Did he ever feel diminished?
He never.
Never?
The man, no, that's why I was saying that the man was so good to a extent that he was committed. And he liked the job they've given to him. And he performed the job marvelously.
Wow.
So that's the main entrance. The whole place was for him, was given out to him.
You mean the top?
He was staying at the top, so we will go there.
Okay.
We will go to the top.
Yes. So let's go then.
Let's go there.
So, it's quite. Have a look. It's quite a narrow staircase.
That's the kitchen.
Okay. Wonderful. And has anything changed?
That's the kitchen. No, nothing.
But do you remember some of the food stuff? For instance, you have chapati.
Actually, when I come, he gives me tea and egg. A cooked egg.
So the egg was fried here, right here in this.
He doesn't fry. He doesn't normally fry his egg. He cook it, cooked one.
Yeah. Wow.
He doesn't fry it. So let me take you to where I've been taken when I come. Those days I was very young.
He's a typical Ghana man. He loves his banku. And who made him love tea and egg? Oh, it's a big hall.
Yes.
It's a very big hall.
Yes, that's the hall.
Yes.
Yes, that's the hall. Okay. When I come to him, you let me sit down here. The wife will prepare some tea.
There was a dining table here?
Yes, a dining table here.
And then there was similar
seats here.
Okay. This man who came all the way from Pakistan and would come down to the level of the local people, would not complain about facilities that were lacking. You as a child and your father's own opinion, what would you say about him?
Oh, the man is the type of person which I think if you give him any position or any, he's very responsible. The man is very, that's why I'm saying that I'm not doubting where he has reached now. He speaks his mind. The man always speaks his mind. He doesn't have anything within him. That's how I see him.
So the day he announced that he was leaving this house,
yeah,
what was the mood in the house?
Actually, my father didn't like it, but it's like something like a contract. The contract has expired, therefore he have to go back to Pakistan. So we have no option. It is only the Amir those days who can say, okay, I'll renew the contract for you to stay back. But I think for that those days, then he was also feeling that at least he have done enough, and the school has gotten a foundation, therefore he can leave to Pakistan. So normally that's where if my father he stays at that building where I show you. So if he is coming with his car, he will just park here and then he will say, call me the white man. So they will call him and then he will come here and then maybe relax here. Then my father will be talking to him whatever concerning the school. He is very neat, cleanliness and discipline. Yes, that's what I could remember from him. But discipline and then cleanliness, it was part of. He born once he was having one child.
That's what you can remember?
Yes, that's what I can.
Did he ever play with a child?
They play. Always he was handling the child. Always. I can't remember very well. He born one, a baby boy. Yeah. Always he was with him. Always.
Now that baby boy is a big man.
Well, I don't know.
He's like you.
I see.
Tell me about water supply.
Water,
when he was here.
it's true. The water supply, the water was a very big problem. You have to go to the riverside to take some water. In terms of bathing, and even those days there was no this pure water.
Now it may seem a little more comfortable compared to Salaga, but living here again was not very simple. The water supply was very erratic, which meant water for Hazur's use had to be obtained from a nearby stream most of the times.
So at the time Hazur lived here in the Sachur, water supply was very erratic. It was very, very inconsistent. I am here with Mr. Abdurrahman Ensil here at the river, and he used to help Hazur when he stayed here at the Sachur. What used to happen? Can you describe to me what used to happen here?
Well, at Sachur, we have pipe-borne water as such. So usually, I do send water home for his activities over there. He's a man of himself. He loves everybody.
This is not your ideal running water, the ideal kind of water you'd want to use even for flushing your toilet, because it's not as clean as pipe-borne water would be, or as clean as even the water we use in our toilets these days. But this is the sort of water Hazur would use for other activities in his home when he lived here in Isacho. Oh, hold on. Whoa, save him. I can't have it. Okay. Hang on. Okay. I think I'm okay.
Okay.
It's okay now.
Okay.
Woo! Woo! No, I can't. No, I can't.
Let him help you. Okay. Let him. Then take the smaller one.
Okay. This is almost like it's as heavy as a 50 kilogram cement bag. Yes,
of course.
Yes,
but this road is not fine. So let's take this road. Be careful unless you fall down.
Yeah.
If I fall,
no problem. You're a strong man.
But if you fall, there will be a problem.
So with the blessings of Allah and the continued efforts of Hazur and Chief Nana Achin, the school at Asarcher grew so much that Chief Nana Achin decided to donate 60 acres of his land at Ikrafu to construct a much larger school which was to accommodate hundreds of students. This school was built by Hazur from the ground up, and the change in location meant that Jamaat decided there should be permanent residence for the headmaster on site. We're going to the headmaster's bungalow on site at T.I. Akumfi Senior High School to meet a very old acquaintance of Hazur.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Abdul Hai Mumen. What's your name? Your full name?
George Ankuma.
George Ankuma?
Yeah.
You used to work in this house?
Yes.
Who were you working for when you used to work in this house?
The headmaster Masroor. 1982-83. Aha ya bia onya hoho a oye ho tena. Na aha so ye bia ne dano table osisi. Ne fani. Aha no oye ni bia ne dan.
So this is where Huzur used to stay and live, and this was his bedroom, in a nutshell.
Na me pepa Asana, you may be baby, I'm a son. Also, you are a family by Mepipa. No Kunsu, Nadina, now my head table, neither beer or butter me in Libya. My
So, what do you remember about this man, Huzur Mirza Masroor Ahmed?
Mekai pa Mazu headmaster abibia obehia bia okache de odukan yebra na yebo nyin kan yemfa nyame mfa enye yebibia so ne se kwetu nyankopon a obran onko kan na otu yafuso da yenye abotar ado farm botar se wabotar wo adwuma ma betum da abo ubrafa ndi onam dam afutu no de man metumi idiru ma okwari na chirin minya mfaso odu ma metumi tena adwuma mu ha kopimra medical pension oye adoye utum ho chiriwa ekache na otumi boawo ska afam.
So, what was his relationship with you as a person like? Because obviously he was the master, he was the headmaster of the school, and you were just a mere servant. Did he ever make you feel like you were just a mere servant?
You naturally, me too. Nancy Shabiara or the Mamma Biara, and the old to quite cry or to me, Mako, bear 3 days crowd of mission a crampa or to me, Mako, Sunday or Jimmy, na meso mijinidi. Na the mofra beno or a mofra munu never forecast na fella.
Okay.
I'm na mofra munu na mi na and no when you now per massive.
The blessings of the divinely inspired Nusrat Jahan scheme on Ghana have been far-reaching and wide. Through the prayers and constant guidance of Khilafat, the people of Ghana have been on the receiving end of high-quality education, especially in the remotest parts of the country, where the future leaders of tomorrow are being groomed by the dedicated teachers and devotees such as Hazur. And we really did not have to look far for evidence. Miss Faustine is an ex-student of Hazur and is currently the assistant headmistress for one of the biggest schools in the region.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
You were an old school student here? How long ago was this?
I was here in 1983 on this very compound.
But the school did not start from this compound?
No, the school started from the sanctuary, the market center there.
Were you there as well?
Yes.
And that was in
1980.
So at the time that you were a student on the other campus, and then moving here, can you remember some of the headmasters along the way?
Yes, I quite remember Masroor. Yes, he was the headmaster who brought us here.
Okay.
So initially, he allowed us to be coming here to plant the trees you see alongside the road and the campus.
Oh, can you point to one of the trees if you can remember? This some, yes.
This one, Beginning from the gate, all trees.
Wow.
And he was involved. So the trees on the campus, he was part of it that we planted.
Wow.
Yes, to give shade to the school because the school was bare. And he did that before he moved us to the school here.
So when you moved here, what was the infrastructure like? Did we have all these buildings here?
No, we moved here with this block.
So when you moved here, we didn't have all these buildings, just this block. Tell me more.
There were 5 classrooms, so we shared 5 classrooms. And that room was Mirza office.
Oh, the first one there. Wow, I'd like to have a look.
There were classrooms for us.
Yeah.
And I came to Form 3 here.
So this is one of the very early classrooms. Good morning. Good morning. How are you all doing?
Same classroom. It's only the whiteboard that has been changed. Yes, it was a blackboard.
So what do you remember about some of your teachers? Whenever they came to the classroom, what would they usually do? Do you remember those days, 30 years back?
Yes, 30 years back. I remember some of them. A teacher we used to call Mirza, who teaches French. Yes. He was short and he easily got annoyed. So the least thing, he would get annoyed and walk out from the classroom. But at a point in time, he will come and settle us down and we continue.
All right.
Yes.
So at the time, Mirza Masroor Ahmad was your headmaster. What kind of headmaster was he? Was he the strict type, the one who would insist that the things be done the right way? Was he the soft type, one who would just allow you to do anything you wanted to do at all?
Israel was calm, but strict and firm. Would wish things are done well. Yes. So I quite remember he was meeting us here. That is where we're having our Sunday morning.
Where is that? Out here?
Out here.
Oh, wow. This is where you used to meet during your morning assemblies and all that. Do you remember him saying anything, addressing the assembly in any way? Here.
If we want to complete school, then we should know how to behave well. And becoming recalcitrant will not help us. And he knows he is here to help us to learn and grow up well for the society. Yes. So we should listen to whatever they tell us here. Not to break school rules, not to do things that put the name of the school into disrepute.
So now you are assistant headmistress in one of the biggest senior secondary schools in Ghana. How would you say this school and the moral lessons taught, especially by Mirza Masroor Ahmad, how would you say that has influenced your life?
It has influenced my life greatly because I took some of the things he said as I'm talking about. And he made me to develop interest in the Islamic religious knowledge. And I offered that and had one. And that Islamic religious knowledge, I had one, took me to training college at Ula. What I would tell him was when I was on the field, he put me in a track to run. I don't run. He said I should run.
You mean sports?
Yes. Oh. And he followed me with a cane. First, he finished that. Finish that. So he made me to end my race.
Okay.
Yes. I quite remember this. So this one, if I tell him,
you remember.
We're off to meet another person who had the privilege of serving Hazur while he was headmaster here.
Mr. Adam Saka, how are you doing? I'm also very fine. When the school was first established, I mean this very campus, who was the headmaster?
Okay, the school started at Masroor.
Yes.
On 1971.
Yeah, I mean when you moved here to this campus, do you remember who the headmaster was?
It was Hazur.
It was Hazur, Mirza Masroor Ahmad?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And you were working here at the time?
Yeah.
In what capacity?
I was a messenger.
You were the messenger, and he was the headmaster.
Yeah,
so being the headmaster, obviously he had an office. Where was it?
Oh, this place.
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, you
okay.
can see from here.
So, all right. So, has anything changed this?
Oh, yes, a big thing. There's a cupboard here.
Oh, so this was the office, just the small room?
Actually, this was the office.
Oh, wow. this looks more like a storeroom in somebody's kitchen. But this used to be the office. And being the messenger, did you ever hear him complain about this place being a small office and that he couldn't operate from here? So first of all, start by telling me what your duties were.
Being a messenger, I have to go to him, correct the key, open the then clean everything here, and arrange the papers, everything before he comes.
Okay.
So in case he needs you to send a letter to some place or anything, in case he needs something from the house, just give you a note. You go to the house and give it to the wife, and then he also give you, in case he needed all sorts of.
At the time there were no telephones. He didn't have mobile phones, so he couldn't ring the house, so he had to
give you a note.
And so whenever he called you in to give you instructions, where would you be? Would you be standing here?
Oh yeah. And then put my bag.
Okay, so Adam Saka.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
So you as a messenger at the time, how did he relate to you? Was he commandeering? Was he always
he was so kind
authoritative?
No, he was very kind to me. He was so kind to me.
Tell us more. I want to tell me more about the relationship.
If you do something, you come to him, be open and then go to him. You explain things to him. If it is money, if anything else, you go to him. He will listen to you and then he will help you. Whatever you need, you give it to you.
Tell us about the beginning of the school and the developments that you are now talking about.
The beginning of the school, you see, as I said earlier, they were forced to give scholarship because there were few people at this thing. So the chief, that was the man of the Kunfin traditional area, called all the country, the town people, the chiefs. I need 3 people from your town so that they all sent to the same school so that the school will be filled up. This is what they started.
And today was the situation.
Exactly. And this and there was a lot of people from outside, even some from Accra, from the northern, the whole way.
It's plain to see that nearly everyone who interacted with Hazur at any level was left with a deep impression of his humility and humanity. The school itself is a living example of the tender love and care of Hazur. From a humble office and 1 block, today T.I. Ikumfi Senior High School is a massive facility catering for the educational and essential needs of well over 1,000 young minds. The man responsible for it today is the current headmaster of the school.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam.
My name is Abdul Mumin. Who are you, sir?
Well, I'm the headmaster of the school, Mr. Muhammad Akun.
So when you moved to this premises at that time, over 30 years ago,
yes.
The population was just a little over 100.
Over 100.
What is the population today as it stands?
Today is 1,346.
Oh, that's a huge number.
Yes.
And you contain all of them on this campus?
On this campus. In fact, we have almost 300-400 being day students who come from town. The remaining around about 900 are on campus.
1,346, you said?
Yes.
That's a huge number.
Yes,
are students crowded in classrooms?
Not so much.
Hello, good morning, how are you? Okay.
Not so much.
All right. So every student has a desk to himself?
Yes. At least in the school, every student has a desk to himself.
So teaching and learning is relatively comfortable in this school? Wow. Can you tell us some of the courses you ran in the school?
Basically, we ran the general art course, we have a general science course, we have a business course, we have a technical course, and we have a vocational course.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Ekunfi Amas.
God-fearing and honesty.
Excellent Amas.
Discipline and hard work.
E Amas.
Long live School of Caliphate.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. Ekunfi Amas. All right. So did you attend the school yourself?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh, wow.
I'm a pro of Kumasi.
Okay, but then I'm sure this school has produced some excellent people for the outer world out there.
Yes.
Can we name a few of these people?
Well, one whose name comes to mind easily is the Honorable A.T. Hammond, who was a pastor of the school.
Yes.
Currently, in fact, formerly he was the Deputy Interior Minister. Then later on became the Energy Minister.
The deputy energy minister.
Deputy energy minister of the country. We have Bashuddin Hayford, who is a very good coach in the country, who is now managing Mediama Football Club. Yeah. And we have one Mr. Abakan, who was a lecturer at the University of Cape Coast.
Whoa. I'm sure if I gave you the whole day, you keep going on, because you've just mentioned a top government official produced from this school, very top level government official, a top level national coach, a Ghanaian coach, a footballing coach from this country. And then you also mentioned a lecturer at the university. Whoa. So, how about the students in the school right now? What's the level of discipline?
You know, if you talk about education, you are talking about morality, sporting, academic, and all those things well harnessed to bring the best out of the children that you handle. At the moment, I can say with that kind of confidence that we are doing our best. We have interest on kind of moral talks in the school. Every Monday morning, we meet at assembly and reorientate the minds of the students to conform to the doctrine of the mission, the teachings of the mission, so that they can prepare themselves for life in future.
You just talked about discipline.
Yes.
Now, students who are not necessarily Muslims, or for that matter, Ahmadis, how comfortable are they within the premises of the school?
Our basic principle in this school is that there is no compulsion in religion. Everybody is allowed to worship the way he or she wants. And another principle that we use is that nobody should be converted whilst in school here. Of course, after going through the system, having seen the good side of Islam, if you decide to change when you go out, that one is not our problem. But here, we don't intentionally go around to convert.
I've been speaking to a few people who were on this very campus from its very inception. And they tell me that the initial headmasters used to teach. Have you taught before?
Yes. Last year, when they were going to do their exams, I realized that there were some few problems with the students. So I had to go in.
So what do you teach? What subjects?
Chemistry is my subject.
Oh, I fear chemistry. Yeah. But can you teach us some chemistry, sir?
No problem.
Okay.
No problem.
I'm just pretending to be part of the students.
Okay.
Probably I'm the tallest student in your class.
Now, because you are all in the first year, and therefore moving, you are in the second year? Yes. Okay. I want to test your knowledge about how the atom is like. You know, in everything, the base is very important. And the base of life is what we refer to as atom.
We've had enough here because, you know, I am used to similes and metaphors, but not atoms and smallest indivisible articles and all that. Thank you very much, class. We appreciate your time.
I had the opportunity to go to London through the mission. Okay. So I was there when the message came that Uzu want to see me. I entered the room. He received me very warmly.
And that was your first time of meeting him?
My first time of meeting him in a room for 30-45 minutes in his office. So he started asking questions about the school, the population at that time, the staffing. Some of the questions that he asked were this.
So did he express interest in the school? You could see passion.
I could see from this man that the love he has for this school is so much.
Wow.
So much that he wants to see this school develop very well. Then he tried to compare other schools and then asked whether my school is doing very well. I told him yes, but there's still more to be done. He looked at me almost after the conversation, and he asked me, Mr. Akonu, can you help in the development of this school? Is it possible you can do it like you have done in other schools? At that moment, I became unsettled. And I didn't know what I said. But immediately what I opened my mind, what came out of it is, yes sir, I will do it. You know, when he was here, he was so affable, so free to talk to. And you will see an aura of spirituality around him. That aura lingers on in this school. No matter what you do, you cannot revolt in this school. We are very hopeful that in the next few years, you will come here and you see a different environment altogether.
Inshallah. So, when you interacted with Huzur in his office, out of the numerous schools Ahmadiyya has in the country, he was particular in detail about what happens in Ekrofo TI Ahmadiyya Secondary School. What did that tell you about Huzur and his love and passion for this school?
In Esachel, he stayed here for 4 good years. So he had a lot of interaction with the people in this area. And that informed me about the type of passion he had for this school, for which he had to devote much of his time to ask me questions about this school. You realize that the people in this area seem to have helped him in so many ways. So he developed love for the people, not necessarily the school, because he occasionally asked questions about individuals within this society. Is this person there? Is this person there? Yes, then I will answer. So he had that kind of special passion. I don't know, but I saw it in his eyes because the way he was asking the questions. For this particular school, he stayed here for 4 years. Then another issue which is also very important is that he brought the school from the town to this environment. So if the school thrives, it thrives on his prayers. So he has that attachment to this school because of the fact that he took the school from the town and virtually brought it here. Nothing available on the land here, started the process, and then wanting to make sure that this school that he started, this school that he built, this school that he sacrificed everything for, this school that his family all had to come here to sacrifice, will not die.
Well, my concern is not only with the Ahmadis in Africa, but with Africa itself. I'm a religious leader who believes in total dedication to the cause of Allah, and if you are honest in that dedication, then you must be dedicated to His creation. I'm training and instructing my community according to the best education and teachings in Islam. That is to say, serve the cause of humanity just for the love of it.
The concern and compassion that the Khulafa hold for humanity is unparalleled. Ever since the Khulafa set foot on the African land, they immediately set in motion plans that would enable the African people to rise up and embrace a brighter future. By the early 80s, the Nusrat Jahan scheme was bearing fruit all over Africa. It was time to take another leap. It just so happened that by Allah's design, the world came to witness another miracle, and this time through the hands of Sahibzada Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad. Post-colonial West Africa was at a constant struggle to support its economies, and Ghana was no exception. This is before the discovery of oil. Other than the export of a few food items, such as cocoa and fish, there wasn't much else bringing enough revenue for Ghana. On top of that, one of the most basic requirements of food was not produced at all, but in fact imported from overseas. Due to harsh weather conditions, lack of fertile soil and water, wheat could not be produced in Ghana. Even today, more than 90% of wheat in Ghana is imported from the US. Hazrat Khalifatul Masih IV rahmahullah decided it was time for change. Sahibzada Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad was an accomplished agriculturist with a master's degree in agriculture, and he was stationed in Asachir as headmaster for the TI Ahmadiyya Secondary School at the time. All the trees here were originally planted by Huzur when the school was moved to this location. Not only this, but Huzur for the first time in Ghana had experimented with growing soya bean at the school, which was an incredible success. So much so that the then president of Ghana, Dr. Hila Liman, took a whole sackful away with him after his inspection of the school. This was to be the start of a groundbreaking project, initiated by Hazrat Khalifatul Masih IV rahmahullah. And for this task, Hazrat Sahibzada Mirza Masroor Ahmad was located to the north, this time to Tamale, to start what would come to be known as the Ahmadiyya Agriculture Project. Welcome to Tamale, capital of the northern region of Ghana. The Ahmadiyya Agriculture Project required the right balance of cool weather, fertile soil and easy access to water. The committee set up by Hazrat Khalifatul Masih IV rahmahullah for the project, which included Hazur, was tasked with experimenting with growing wheat, corn, okra and other vegetables. Areas around Tamale next to the rivers during the relatively cooler Harmattan season were the best place for the experiment. This wasn't the first time this was being done. Several government-backed projects had already tried unsuccessfully with over 21 different variations of wheat. All efforts had been abandoned in pursuing matters further. Hazur lacked the support and finances the government projects may have had. For the Jamaat to be successful, it required a miracle to succeed where others had failed. We're on our way to see the very house Hazur relocated to in Tamale, and to show us around, we are going to meet the parents of our very own Abdul Hai, who were Hazur's neighbors during his stay in Tamale.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa barakatuh.
How are you doing? So, this is where Hazur used to live. Looking at the building itself, it's pretty much humble. How was his reaction? What was his reaction like when you told him this is the house you got for him? Did he like it?
Oh, he was very happy. I could see that he was very anxious to move into the house. He was also equally happy that at least he had got a place where he could be very comfortable. And I saw sort of a very unassuming, gentle, and humble human being. That's how I assessed him. Very quiet, very unassuming, and very respectful.
All right, so can you show us inside the house?
This is the living room.
This used to be the living room.
Yeah,
it's now
an office.
Yeah.
Where we had his dining table at the side. Anytime we came in, he would welcome us. Then, of course, my wife would go inside and meet the wife, and I'll be here with him.
So when you came in, where did Mommy used to go?
Mommy, as soon as she would just take through this door and meet Huzur's wife. And then we'll go into the bedroom.
All right, so I'll meet Mommy right there and then ask her what she used to do with Huzur's wife and what some of the activities. Mommy, assalamu alaikum. So when you came in with Daddy, what happened?
Anytime I came with my husband, Huzur's wife would meet me and then send me into her bedroom.
Yeah, where
Even Huzur alone, that time. Used to be, there were 2 bedrooms, but we used to be here.
So what's this now?
This place is now the office for the regional manager of Ahmadiyya unit. Ahmadiyya and Education unit.
Okay.
But this used to be one of the living rooms where I used to sit with my friend.
Huzur's wife?
Yes, please. The children sometimes, sometimes when we came, they would come with Jamila and Nuruhak.
Yes.
So sometimes they used to play around outside. There's an house there, or they used to be there. Sometimes they'll be around with Huzur himself or here. So when there was any communication, then they would run there too.
So what were some of the things you used to talk about?
Well, we talked about a whole lot of things because at that time things were so difficult. Things were so difficult. There wasn't water. Sometimes it was difficult to come by food. So sometimes we'll lament on some of those things. She would tell me some of the dishes that they liked, and then she would also ask me some of the dishes that we also prefer in.
I remember you telling me one time that those times it was so difficult that it was hard to come by water.
Yes.
So the water you would use to cook, you would use that same water to probably wash your place, use the same water to do other things. So did you ever at any point in time hear him or his wife complain or regret for coming here?
Never.
They never
complained. Anytime you did anything, whatever it was, they were just so content with the situation that they found themselves.
Never complained?
They never complained.
Not even once?
Not even once.
And you were really very close?
Very, very close. Very close.
Wow.
Very close.
And so, can you tell me, Mommy, what your fondest memory of this room is? Because obviously you had a lot of interaction.
In fact, not here, but in the kitchen.
Oh, can we take a tour to the kitchen then?
My memory was in the kitchen. This is a very small kitchen. This is where we used to be.
Yes.
You can imagine this is the sink. You know, and they had a small table here, a very small work table. And this is where we used to. Sometimes when I came in and we used to come here, where she taught me how to do chapati.
Oh.
She taught me how to prepare okra stew, which we used to eat with
chapati.
The chapati. You know, she taught me how to do.
So now that's the secret behind the taste of your chapati. Oh, right. I now know the secret to my mom's chapati. Yes. So she taught you how to prepare chapati. What did you prepare? Teach her how to
jollof rice.
Jollof rice.
Yes.
I'm sure she will still remember jollof rice.
But she also used to cook rice, this colored rice with sugar, which I never ate before. And then she will prepare her rice with what do you call it, pickles. To prepare rice and put pickles, which I never ate before. But it was so nice. I used to enjoy it. And since she went, I don't think I've eaten pickles again.
Wow.
I'd like to get some.
Al-Hajj Momin leads us to his own old house, where he and Hazur would often sit under the trees and enjoy some tea and conversation.
So this is your house?
Yes, this is where I live. And I used to, in the evening, we used to come and sit down here. Let's say between the hours of 4 and 6. So we used to be here. Occasionally too, we went inside, depending on the weather conditions.
So you used to sit under this mango tree?
Yes.
Was it as big as this?
No, it was much
huge.
smaller.
It was much smaller than this.
We were about 20 years ago.
So can you tell us, what sort of conversation did you used to have? And what did the sort of things you used to talk about tell you about the personality of this man?
We talked about so many things, as I've said. In fact, from Alpha to Omega, we talked about religion, of course, as Ahmadis. We talked even politics, local politics and international politics.
So, having interacted with him on several occasions, what sort of impressions did he make on you?
Frankly, as a very humble, honest, gentle, and God-fearing person. Yes. And then I remember there was an incident I wouldn't forget. In the month of Ramadan, it was during the drought. We had, in fact, food was very difficult to come by. On the last day of Ramadan, the moon appeared. But believe me, some people didn't know what food to cook the following day to celebrate Eid. I was a bit better, but I wasn't okay. So we were contemplating what to do with the rest that we had, because it wouldn't be sufficient. Then somebody came, I think that was his houseboy. I said, oh, he said, Master said, make I call you. But I apparently asked him that he wanted to see me. So I walked across and then gave him salam. Then he told me that, oh, fortunately he was able to mobilize some rice. And was sharing among members of the Jamaat, of course, at a cost. So he said, this is your share. That's the price. This one is for Mr. Umar, the one who is now in one. This one is for Mr. Umar. I said, okay, I'll take this for him. And then there was another chap also called Isa. He was just sitting across. He said, this one please for Isa, but Isa came for his identity for him. So when I picked Mr. Umar's, I brought it home. I said, man, I told him, Badia, look at what has happened. Mr. Masroor has brought us some rice. I mean, it is so wonderful. We're all excited about the rice. So I quickly myself sent Mr. Umar's own to him. I said, oh, uncle, Mr. Mumin brought some rice here. That is Mr. Masroor who sent it. I said, what? Rice? You don't mean
on the
rice?
11th hour?
On the 11th hour. The man, when he just went to look at it, this I just walked straight to me. I said, uncle, what's the matter? I said, He said, my brother, I still remember, I'm going to quote. I still remember his quote. Yeah, so they said, this is a practical manifestation of Allah by himself.
So now he would go to the farm as well?
Yes.
How did he usually go to the farm?
When he came at first, he didn't have a vehicle. But he managed to go sometimes on a tractor, sometimes he used it on a motorbike. But eventually, he had a Ford pickup, which he was using. Yes, so he used to use that one.
So he was that humble?
Yes.
He could ride on a tractor?
The tractor, on the mudguard, yes.
On the mudguard of a tractor?
Yes.
And he was humble enough to travel all the way to Dipali on
yes,
on a motorbike as
about,
well?
About 35, 40 miles away from here.
Was he riding himself or someone
no, somebody used to pick him. Yes.
The site for the agriculture project was 40 miles away, at the village of Dipali, where Hazur would travel to, and more than often, used to spend his nights at the village.
I'm now on my way to Dipali, that very famous village where Hazur first successfully implemented and cultivated wheat for the very first time in Ghana. And prior to this, other government officials and agencies had tried several times to cultivate wheat in Ghana and had in fact concluded that it was an impossibility trying to cultivate wheat in Ghana until Hazur proved all those critics wrong. And then this is the road where Hazur used to travel on. He used to travel on this very road on motorbikes and sometimes even on tractors until the Jamaat purchased for him a vehicle similar to the 4x4 I am using now. And trust me, even riding in this 4x4, you can see it's very shaky and bumpy. It's not comfortable at all. So one can imagine 30 years back, that kind of turmoil Hazur had to experience on his way to the farm at Dipali.
40 miles on a dusty, broken dirt road is no easy journey in any vehicle. But try imagine so in a tractor. Muhammad Bukhari, the project's tractor driver, is going to show us how it was done 30 years ago.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Can I come forward to Dipala?
Okay, come.
All right.
Okay.
So how are you doing? How are you?
I'm fine.
Alhamdulillah.
How are
All right,
you?
let's go. I'm fine. I'm fine. Your family?
Yes, I'm family.
All right. Do you remember one Mr. Masroor Ahmad?
Yes. That's my best friend.
Your best friend?
Yes.
Tell me about him.
Hey, Mr. Masroor, I work with him in Dipali. We do irrigation, making corn, popcorn, wheat. Hey, many things.
At where? Dipali?
Dipali.
So you used to drive the tractor to
Tractor?
Dipali?
Yes.
Has he ever joined you on the tractor?
Yes.
Tell me about his journey with you on the tractor.
Every day we are going 40 miles, in and out 80 miles away. Every day.
And where would he be sitting?
We are sitting behind where we are sitting.
Just here?
Yes.
I can't imagine this. This man used to sit here?
Yes.
On the mudguard of the tractor?
Yes. The time we are start making fasting, still we have been going.
Even during Ramadan, when you are fasting?
Yes.
You still go on the farm?
Yes.
And you'll be, during Ramadan, you still sit on this? In the scorching sun?
Yes. That man is very, very fine, good man. He's a good man. Sometimes I will speak my English. You say, hey, your English is very, very poor.
He was teaching you English?
Yes.
And you tell your English is poor?
He said, hey, Umar, your English is very, very poor.
I'm sure today, if he hears you speaking English, he'll give you a thumbs up, yeah?
One day, Opera Malo Nigera, Anu Shama, the Benon. There's one to Nano, Carmel, no, when I take a Lacamba, Lapo, this Shama. What to my woman, a young man? Ndapunya, to Strabina, one more so send the tongue patapolo. Opera booked a day younger. Bendiru, don't to Natinosiam. We're no limited. Ama, we could not carve it to back. We are married in Wuha. We want to know, the Nama, but the bird on Borsham. I become back or I have been doing that. I don't have one chip party. Nda ball the pound or I plant more to my dear summer. So you are young ball of Pamanji. When I'm bought Pampam Jip, I am married. All right.
Before the DC wheat in Ghana before. And what did Mr. Masroor do to bring the wheat?
Alila wheat Ghana brand of wheat banana Ghana. So when you Ghana, one she had to quality and the pallet no. So I drink another come now but in yellow. Don't brush him now wheat to put on Ghana. The Satin da quality carpul no
Oh, then I know to dry. So, Panama, I'm gonna tell you. And then could be yellow Puma, one that Diana Casson, Sonton for Uncle Kule, Mamblanga too young Batunda.
When we were running a farm there were quite a number of days when I would travel by tractor to the farm, which was almost 35 miles from my residence. Sometime I used to drive the tractor, and some days I would sit on the mudguard of the tractor. So by the time you would get to the place, you are so tired that it is very much difficult for you to do some job.
This is the village of Dipale, now a thriving community, but at the time of the project it was a tiny village with farmland close to the White Volta River. As is customary, permission is first sought from the village chief. Talking for us is Hazur's old companion in the project, Muhammad Abdullah, now chief of his tribe.
The present Hazur was the farm manager of Ahmadiyya Agri Project, Northern Region, Tamale. The farm was sited in Dipale. And due to the inconvenience or the distance from Dipale to Tamale, the Agri Project decided to build a farmhouse. But as of now, we can only have a trace of it, because since we left the project, people has encroached on where they will build the farmhouse.
Yeah. So where was this house?
This was where the house was. We had 2 bedrooms, 2 rooms.
This particular spot?
This particular spot.
So
from here, most likely, from here up to that place.
So as I'm standing here, it's possible I could be standing in a spot, in a room where Hazur used to sleep. Wow, there was a room here.
Yes.
Was it made of bricks? Was it similar to what's here?
This is even looking more nicer.
This is nicer. Was it similar to that's?
We've just built. We used a switch to build it.
Yes.
Then there's some little byproduct of rice huts.
Wow.
To plaster it.
Wow.
And the floor was anything, just to lay our heads.
Wow.
And Hazur was present today. Hazur could lay his head with us.
Oh, you mean you were all sleeping in the same room?
In the same room.
You were his work. You were working under him.
I was working under him. I was his assistant manager.
All right.
Oh, yeah. we had to cook our own. And do you know what was happening?
Yes.
If Hazur was to stay here for 3-4 days, his wife who has to prepare chapati, then some cakes that will survive him for afternoon, evening, and morning for 3 days. You see this? You see this room?
Yes.
This is a modern room.
You call this is a modern room compared to what you and Hazur
were saying.
Wow.
This is a modern room. Very nice. Hazur, we couldn't make a room like this.
Oh,
yes.
And you didn't tell me about the roofing.
It was with thatch.
This is made of
grass.
This is grass.
Yes.
Yours too was made of grass.
We had to buy the grass from this village.
Wow.
Yes.
And well, obviously this is cement.
Well polished. Yes, we just use mud to ramp. We use sticks to ramp it so that it could hold.
Yeah. So talk about ants. Talk about other rodents.
But for that, ants, we didn't talk of them.
There were no ants in the room.
Wow. We have to manage with them.
You had to manage. So you were literally living in the same room with ants at the time.
What we had to do?
Wow. And snakes, scorpions.
Oh, this was the only place that was within this side, the only house. So you could imagine the type of reptiles and other things we're facing. I had a snake bite, scorpion bite in this one of our rooms for 3 days.
A scorpion bite?
Scorpion bite. I had the pains for 3 good days.
And what kind of things were you sleeping on? I can see this. This is a modern kind of mattress, isn't it?
Yes, he had this student light mattress foam. And, or at times he comes with bed sheet.
So he used to come with something like this, or a bare bed sheet that he just put on the floor and lie on.
Lie on it.
Wow. Well, I know this is more comfortable than what Huzur used to lie on.
The project has no money to buy all these luxurious things.
Wow. But I'll just right now, James, I'm just going to make an attempt to have a feel of what Huzur might have felt at the time that he was here, and he would sleep on something which was, what we see here was more comfortable than what he used to sleep on. I'll just try and see if I can spend 8 hours of the night on this mattress. And you used to have mosquito nets, you said?
Yes, we nailed the mosquito nets in the square rectangular form for him to avoid mosquitoes.
Oh, this is very much unlike my bed. I'm just wondering if I can survive this for 8 hours, you know.
But Huzur has to survive with it.
It's just too hard for me now. I can't. Oh, must have been a lot of sacrifice. Yeah?
Of course.
And for all of you.
Yeah.
Wow. Chief Mohammed Abdullah, so in those days, obviously, you just mentioned you used to bring, Huzur used to bring items like chapati and all that.
Yes.
But if you wanted to take tea, obviously you would have to boil water. How did you go? No electricity, no kettle.
This makes me remember one day he was hungry at the farm. Then he asked me to boil tea for him. Eventually, we used the bowl that we used to prepare our soup.
Like this one there? Like that black, okay.
So after preparing, Abdallah, have you put pepper in the tea?
Oh, okay. Because it's been used to...
We used it to prepare our soup.
So there was chili, there was spice, everything in it. And you didn't wash it well?
Yes. So you have to manage.
Let's have a look at the pots here. Okay. So there's water. I can clearly see that there's water in there. So, but then this same pot is used for soup
and
is used for stew, is used for other things. And at the same time, you would use it to boil water.
Boil tea. So that is it.
Wow.
So you could imagine the stress, the uncomfortability, the hardships, the sacrifice the President Huzur made towards the Ahmadiyya Agri project. This was a co-worker. Or do I say a companion in this village who at times helps in the farm.
Wow.
This was our best friend. When we needed fish, he could give me a fish. But that day, this guy was a small boy. And we used to send them. So you see?
Yeah.
And they all knew Huzur. They all knew him.
You all remember him? Izamio.
Mizamio. Kabuno, assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. All right,
that is his name.
All you're telling me here is that, look, when Huzur worked here, he lived with them, he worked with them, and they all know him. They still do remember him, and they remember him by the name Assalamu alaikum, because they think that he was a man of peace. And indeed, Huzur is a man of peace. Okay. So, Chief, can you tell us, first of all, how did the whole project start?
The whole project started by instructions from Huzur, the former Huzur, that Ahmadiyya needed a project, a Greek project. So Amir had to send in some delegation then to Tamale. Then they also came down here to meet the people of the village and to put down the farm proposals to them. And a land of 1,000 acres was acquired. We didn't pay for it. It was not cashed. And we started the project.
Chief, can you take me on a trip to the farm?
For sure.
I would like to see the farm for myself.
For sure.
Then I would spend some night there. And there was no proper house, even no house. It was a small village. So we used to spend our nights with those local people. So they thatched houses, and they spread mat on the floor, and there you sleep. So I slept many nights in the bush, and whenever I would wake up in the night, I would see around, see if there is any scorpion or something, because there were so many scorpions there. snakes or scorpion around you or not.
Evening approaches as our journey nears its end.
So, Chief, how far is the farm from this village? It is Dipali, but the farm is still ahead, you said?
Yes, from Dipali to the farm is about between 3 and 4 kilometers.
The nature of this road now, this is the 21st century, is still so bad. I can imagine 30 years back when you used to ply this road all the time. How was it?
There was no road.
There was no road.
We had to use our tractor because it's a bush machine that paved the way for Huzur's at times pick up to follow.
And I've just been thinking to myself, if it is this difficult now in the 21st century, I'm just wondering how it would have been 30 years or so ago when Huzur worked on these parts of the northern region.
Even with the dirt roads, it would have been impossible to make our way without the village guides. Just imagine how tough it would have been 30 years ago.
So when you saw him for the very first time in your life, what sort of impression did he make on you?
Yeah, I was not too sure whether he could do farming.
Why?
Yes.
Why?
I was not too sure whether he could do farming. Because looking at how he was dressed, and I knew him to be the headmaster of Salga at Ahmad. So I was a teacher, a secondary school head teacher coming to be a farmer.
So you doubted his ability,
of being a farmer.
But you still went ahead to propose to work with him.
Yes.
There's something that might have gingered you to
you see, because they said Ahmadiyya Agri Projects was going to be, it was a humanitarian project. It was not a profit-making destiny. And as an Ahmadi, it's a common pledge that we are all the time ready to serve the mission. So that also jeered me to come into the project.
With the help from the locals, we have finally made it to the farm.
All this land that you see was under Ahmadiyya Agri Project.
Oh.
This was acquired by Ahmadiyya Agri Project.
How many acres is that?
Well, we acquired 1,000 acres.
Oh.
Both for cultivation of rice, ginger, experiment of wheat growing, vegetables like okra, carrot, cassia or something like that, and so many other granates. We even did granates at the upper land.
So can you tell us, before this experimentation on wheat, had you ever seen wheat with your naked eyes, with your own eyes?
No. It was on records that no wheat can be grown in Ghana. It was on records in Ghana history that wheat cannot be grown in Ghana. But we experimented it on this land.
And it was
very useful.
Very, very successful.
Successful.
Wow.
100% successful.
Wow.
So that.
So this is where you used to work?
Yes, we used to work. You see, this was a pavement for the irrigation. This was where we could slope our machines down.
Right there?
Yes.
Can we have a look? Wow. It's still there.
So yeah.
Wow. So what used to happen here? You had water?
That is a river.
There's a river there?
That's a river.
Wow.
So our machines were down there.
Is the river still alive?
Yes, let's go.
And you were not scared of snakes or anything when you were working here? Because
what do you have to do?
Frankly speaking, I am scared of snakes.
Okay, let me take the lead.
This is the white volta, I believe.
Yes, I believe.
Yes. So, So what happened from here? Chief is okay.
No, I want to show you something.
You want me to still come down there?
Yes, come down.
Is it safe?
It's safe. There's nothing. You see? We cleared the land here.
Yes.
Cleared the whole land there. Then our machines were there. Then we will lay pipes up. Right? All this was cleared. We'll put the pumper machine there to draw water from here onto the land.
Wow.
Well, we had three machines working at all the time.
So you had constant water supply for the wheat project.
Wheat project.
And how many months or years did it take for the project to mature itself, then you could say now it's been successful.
Yes, the wheat cultivation was done only at one season.
Yeah.
We did it once.
Yes.
And it was successful. Then we did rice irrigation. We did irrigation on rice.
Okay.
It was also successful.
Wow.
Then we did vegetables, okra, onion, carrots.
Was Huzur actively participating
that
in,
was
say,
why
clearing
at
the
times
weeds?
that was why at times he has to stay, especially the wheat cultivation was very new.
Yeah.
I never knew agriculture. He was training me.
Yeah.
I was not an agriculturalist.
Yeah.
But it was through him that I decided developing interest in agriculture.
Wow.
So wheat was the first experiment in Ghana. So Huzur paid more attention to it because when he wanted to do that, he was told he would not be successful because wheat cannot be grown in Ghana.
And he proved
the skeptics wrong.
Yes.
Because it was all grown. Directors of agricultural institutions came and visited the farm.
Wow, and they were
sustain the truth of it.
Do you remember any scene, for instance, here where Huzur did something here? Did he ever do something here?
What I'm saying that he was in response. He had to teach us how to operate the machines.
Yeah. So what did he do?
He goes. We go in down there with him. Down there with him to prime the machines. He would teach us how to prime the machines.
Yeah.
Because if you don't prime the machine, it will not put in water. So he will go in, teach us how to prime the machines, teach us how to lay the pipes up there. He was totally involved.
Tell me about your mode of dressing. How was he dressed?
Farmers. He was a farmer. He was dressed like a farmer.
From the very few people working for the project, Muhammad Baku also had the privilege of working closely with Huzur.
There at the farm, you will never see him sitting, always working here and there. Turning the pipes of this machine, these pumping machines, putting into the water, dipping into the water. You will tell us, oh, let us go to the riverside. Then we'll go, he himself will dip in the pipe into the water. I want the pipe to go inside the water. So we'll pull it and he himself will put it into the water. Then we'll go back and lay the pipes very well. Then we'll spark the machine. Then the thing will be working. And you will never see him at one place, moving here and there.
Yes.
So how long did it take you to establish all this, establish the pumping machines, clear the weeds, and before you started work? How long did it take, the preparatory stages?
Well, the preparatory stages did not take us a long time because hands were all on deck. Nobody was sitting idle.
Yes.
And there was no rest for anybody until the machines were laid up. Huzur was a very sociable person. And he could say sorry.
Yeah.
The word sorry from him, from his mouth, was not anything a big deal. And he was a problem solver. You see, he could, should there be any problem, he quickly comes in to solve.
Do you remember any such problems?
With this type of nature of work, where all of us were new, right?
Yeah.
We becomes at times becomes bored up with the work. Then he will sit us down, tell us the importance of it. Then we cope up again.
To give you, to re-energize you to start working.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so,
and at any time you went wrong, he sits you down and advises you, or this is the way you ought to have done this, that, and that. He was not harsh in
What
words.
kind of leader at the time? He was your leader on the farm.
Yes.
So what kind of leader would you describe him? Would you say he was the kind of leader who would sit back and instruct you, you do that, you do this?
He was very active, involving. He was so involving. He was not a person who sits back and tell you do this and no. He does it for you to see. So when he's not there, you could do it.
What's your most the most memorable thing that ever happened on this farm between you and Huzur that you'd like to share with us?
You see, what happens was that Huzur was a person, not that because he's Khalifa now, And sometimes I used to ask myself what type of person he was.
Yes.
You see, he used to, at any time there was a problem, or where we the workers were faced with problem with regard to work, he draws it near God.
Wow.
Yes.
How did he do that?
Yes, he will tell you that, oh no, they show him the water. This is part of God's signs that he exists. You must face this type of problems to show that God exists.
And you used to say prayers here?
Yes, we used to say prayers here, but the spot where we used to say Juma prayers, we can't get there because of waterlock. Other than that,
you used to say Juma here?
Juma. At any time there was, we were prompted Juma here, Huzur will make somebody call Azan.
How many of you? If you
we are 3, 4.
Even if you were 3?
I remember we were 2 people standing behind Huzur.
And there would be a sermon?
He would deliver a sermon and will lead us in prayers.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes.
And I could remember one Friday, the missionary and myself, plus Huzur himself, the 3 of us went to the palace. And when it was even time for Juma prayers, he said, Bako, you will call Azan. So I called Azan. Movi Kamar stood before us and gave some small sermon. And then I stood shoulder to shoulder with Huzur, and 3 of us, we prayed. And the whole village, they came and surrounded us. Because they were surprised to see a black man in midst of white men praying.
Apart from Juma and advising you, his lifestyle itself, what?
He was a very simple lifestyle man. He never wore expensive dresses. And he didn't like expensive food. Whatever was available. That was why he used to ride the tractor. Because at any time he felt that consumption, we had a Ford pickup would consume more petrol. So in order to safeguard mission's money or the project's money, at times we come with a tractor.
And I just saw the struggle we had to go through to be here. So around that time,
tell you that this one was this is a better road. It was our tractors that we used to pave road. So you can imagine, like here, a wheel here, that's all. You move. Until recently, I never knew that he had devoted his whole life to Ahmadiyyat. Until quite recently. But it makes me to reflect and to now reason why he was so committed to work. He was not lazy. He was not selfish. He was ready to share ideas with you whenever you were wrong. And he was ready to listen to your advice.
It was
a concept among those agriculture experts that wheat cannot be grown here. But there is some Hamatan season. So I felt that during Hamatan, where the temperature goes down, we can grow wheat. But how? There's no water. I said that I was of the view that if we get water or irrigation facility, then we can grow wheat easily. I asked one of my friends in Nigeria to send me some wheat seed, and that experimented there. It grew very well. We irrigated them with sprinklers. We lift the water from Volta River, and it was quite successful. And even up to now, Mirza, Ghana, Wahab has kept that quantity of the wheat into a jar, and he has kept that jar in the exhibition hall of Ghana Jamaat. Up to now, they are very well preserved.
Islam has been brought by Allah. Let them merge it. It is the way to Allah.
You have been witness to an incredible journey. To be devoted in the service of God is to sacrifice your life, honor, and wealth. It is to exercise the highest level of obedience and humility. It is to treat your fellow man with kindness and kinship. It was these qualities and the prayers of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih that enabled Hazur to succeed where everyone else had failed. A living example for all of us to follow. Hazur spent a total of 8 years of service in Ghana.
It's an example of humility, it's an example of obedience, it's an example of commitment, it's an example of recognizing a human being for his worth, what he is.
God had a mission for him, so he made sure he protected him, he made sure he groomed him, he made sure he protected him in such a way that nobody in future will have any cause for pointing unnecessary finger at him.
He remained humble throughout. He remained dedicated throughout. He, went through all possible hardships that anybody can go through without any complaint. And that is a mark of a real devotee, somebody who is dedicated to the cause.
Salamu alaikum ya jama. Assalamu alaikum.
The Ahmadiyya Agriculture Project was an incredible success. But the village of Dipale is not forgotten. The village that welcomed the Jamaat is now itself a proud owner of a school, a farm that will forever bring a better harvest for all the futures to come.
La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah.